Hello YouTube, old Steeler guy back here. In case you missed it, I've been on a long spiritual journey. Started back even in late January. All through all that stuff with the Chinese balloon and Aaron Rodgers going on a darkness retreat and of course the Super Bowl. Oh, some things happened at the Super Bowl that still have me in bit of a quandary. Be still my heart. Still waiting to find out about that. But anyhow, I need to get grounded here. So I'm going to do I've done a mock draft. Been doing a lot of them actually since after the Super Bowl. Watched the Combine last week on NFL Network. I'm going to put up a mock draft that I did right before the Combine that I think would be a pretty good draft for the Steelers, and I'll go through it. This is off of DraftKings, or at least they sponsor it. I forget, PFF or PPF, something like that. It's the one that's convenient for me to use on my Kindle. I can do like 50 mock drafts in a day if I set my mind to it. And all these different, there's a cottage industry out there for mock drafts, and some of them are decent, some of them are just BS. So anyhow, let's get to the mock draft. Okay, yeah, it should be up there on the screen now. Like I said, this is the PFN mock draft simulator. I guess it's sponsored by DraftKings. Like I say, it works the best for me anyhow. In the first round, I had the Steelers selecting Devin Witherspoon, which, if he drops to 17, they should definitely pick him up. I mean, I've heard Joey Porter mention there's a good crop of cornerbacks in this year's draft. There should be one available in the first round that the Steelers can get, and that's definitely a need that they have. Other guys, like I said, Joey Porter's been talked about. Christian Gonzalez would be another one. Kelly Ringo would be another one. They all seem to have pretty decent combines, so I think that's where the Steelers should go in the first round. All this, of course, is assuming they don't pick up somebody in free agency. And then with the 32nd pick, Saiki, oh boy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I guess he'll forgive me. He probably can't pronounce mine. Siaki Ika from Baylor. He's just huge. He's a big guy. Now, he didn't run the fastest 40 at the Combine, but you don't need a defensive tackle. He'd really be like a nose guard for the Steelers. You don't need him to be able to run that fast. You just want him to stuff up the middle. And we all know how bad the Steelers were at defending the run. That should give them a lot of help. Now at 49, I had them picking Anton Harrison. There's a lot of different tackles out there that I think, offensive tackles, that would be a good fit for the Steelers. He's one of them. I've seen DeJuan Jones, Darnell Wright. There's some talent out there that can be had still in the second round that would be a nice fit for the Steelers. Now, just yesterday I saw where Orlando Brown didn't get franchise tagged by the Chiefs, and if the Steelers could sign him in free agency, that would change the equation a good bit there, because he's a little bit older, but I've heard reports he didn't even give up a sack at all last year protecting Mahomes, and that would be quite a signing if the Steelers can pull it off. And Omar Khan's supposed to be a cap genius, so if he can make that happen, that would be a big move for the Steelers. And then I guess I traded up in this one. I don't know who I traded with, because I'm pretty high on Jack Campbell. He's a linebacker out of Iowa. He just gives off that Jack Ham vibe. And of course, in the modern game, Jack Ham wouldn't be an outside backer. He'd be an inside backer. And he just gives me that impression. He already wears the black and gold. You know, Iowa switched to black and gold back when Hayden Fry was coach there, so I think he would be a good pickup. Anyhow, that's my draft as of now. Of course, all that can change in free agency. You've got that, there's frenzies going on now about quarterbacks. Fortunately, I think the Steelers are pretty well settled at that position. I don't see them. I mean, Pickett's going to be their guy, and they've got Mitch Trubisky still under a decent contract, I think. So, whatever happens to Mason Rudolph, we'll see. I mean, they could take a quarterback with a late round pick, and I'm just going through the first 3 rounds here because those are generally the most important. A lot of people have speculated about the Steelers drafting a wide receiver. I don't really see that as a need because Deontay Johnson, he had a decent year even though he didn't catch any touchdowns. I guess he's the anti-Chris Carter. And they've got Calvin Austin, who had a great training camp last year and then got put on IR for the whole season, so he should be ready to go next year. And of course, George Pickens had a fantastic year, so I don't see them taking a wide receiver in the first 3 rounds anyhow. Well, that's about it for now. See you later. And someone special out there, you know,